Feeling good about our Lions in this two-game win streak. We got a lot to do on a Tuesday edition of Locked on Lions.
You are Locked on Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, everybody. It is a Tuesday edition of Locked on Lions right here on the Locked on Podcast Network. Matt Dery with you Tuesday, November 15th and Wednesday, November 16th. Tomorrow, VSiN NFL analyst, also DraftKings NFL expert, Michael Lombardi, former NFL executive, is going to join us tomorrow. Michael has been critical of the Lions in the past, and we're going to check him out and talk to him tomorrow on the show. Patricia Traina, host of Locked on Giants, coming up Thursday on the program. But welcome in. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We are brought to you by, today at least, our friends at PrizePicks. PrizePicks daily fantasy made easy. Pick 2 to 5 players. If they score more or less than their PrizePicks projection, you can win up to 10 times your money on your entry. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code LOCKEDON. That's prizepicks.com. Promo code LOCKEDON. Follow us on Twitter at Dery Speaks, at Locked on Lions, the Matt Dery Facebook fan page. And hello to those of you watching on our Locked on Lions YouTube channel. Coming up on the show today, we are pretty much halfway through the season. The Lions are 3-6. They have 8 games left. Pro Football Focus has the highest, I'm going to tell you the highest graded Lion player is, and the lowest graded Lion player of the regulars. And also I want to give some credit to the guy that's the highest graded player because, you know, when push comes to shove, he seems to always deliver for this football team. Also coming up on the show, ESPN Power Rankings. Your Leos have won 2 in a row. Are they moving on up in the power rankings? Not so fast, my friend, as Lee Corso would say. We'll get into that coming up momentarily as well. Also, a little history lesson for you. I looked this up because I was racking my brain driving to work today. Last 2-game win streak, it's been a while. The Lions would go for 3 in a row Sunday at MetLife in the Meadowlands in New Jersey as they take on the 7-2 New York Football Giants. A shout out to all the listeners and everybody that hits me up, whether it's on email, Twitter, Facebook, the comment section on YouTube. We thank you. Thank you for checking us out. And tell your friends about us. For those of you that maybe don't know if some of your pals watch the show, listen to the show, but spread the word about what we're doing here on Locked on Lions. Of course, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. All right, let me start with this. Isn't this so much better? Seriously, isn't this fun? Again, this is not a Super Bowl contender. I know some people say, oh, the Lions are only like a game and a half out. I don't even look at this stuff. You know, they're not that far out of the wild card. The NFC's bad. I mean, last night, who would have thunk it? The Commanders go into Philadelphia, and beat the Eagles last night. Washington is a team in week 2 with Carson Wentz under center that the Lions handled pretty well in that game. But yes, the Lions are back with a heartbeat, with a pulse. They're breathing again. And a lot of teams are sitting at 3-6 too. I'm going to go over this in the power rankings. But it's nice to be talking about winning. I was talking to somebody today who will remain nameless in my office, a good buddy of mine. I love him like a brother. And I said, all right, Lions have won 2 in a row. How about this? He's like, no, I want the quarterback. I want the draft pick. I said, the Rams pick may end up being when they get the quarterback. But winning is always much better. It makes it more fun. There's optimism again in town. We're not dragging this team for a couple of weeks. We're actually talking positively about them. So that's what made Sunday's win in Chicago a lot of fun. A lot of fun. By the way, quick shout out. I was mentioning a friend of mine, but another friend of mine. It's her 40th birthday today. The great Rainey Litke. Rainey, I love you. 40, happy 40th. Huge Lions fan. All right. Um, so it's so much better and it's so much more positive right now to talk about your Lions. And one of the reasons why, and I was going back and late night last night, I couldn't sleep, so I had the game in the DVR and I'm rewinding and watching some plays and just checking the game out again. Sometimes it's good to do that when you're not watching live, to watch it on tape again, just to see some things. I didn't realize, Amon-Ra St. Brown had like 10 catches in the game. Everyone was a big play. And I know two of them were sort of those pop passes. They look like end around reverses where Goff gets the snap and he just sort of tips the ball to St. Brown. So it's a forward pass. Every play that Amon-Ra St. Brown makes is a big play. And he's really good. All right, we could sit here and talk about Okudah making progress and Hutchinson making progress and Kirby Joseph is coming of age. And although he didn't have a good game this past week, but the Lions, if you want to say who's their best player, it's St. Brown. You could make an argument for some of the offensive linemen or Ragnow or Sewell or Decker or somebody like that. Or, maybe you're a Jamal Williams fan. Amon-Ra is so good. Seriously. He's being surrounded right now with a receiving core of like a former lacrosse player in Tom Kennedy, players you haven't even heard of like Stanley Berryman and Trinity Benson. That's what's surrounding him right now. And Khalif Raymond, who's like 5'5". And yet, when defenses are well aware of, okay, DeAndre Swift's out of the game, TJ Hawkinson's in Minnesota. Who do we key on? And yet this guy just gets open every play. 10 catches, 176 yards this past week. Just delivers. And our friends at Pro Football Focus grade him out as the highest rated Detroit Lion at an 83.2. He's the highest graded player on the team. And he deserves it. And I was looking it up today, and I'll give you some stats. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not exactly in the top 10 of receiving in really any category, whether it's receptions, yards, average, yak. He's not even in the top 10. But he's a top 13, top 11 wide receiver when it comes to receptions. Tyreek Hill's got 81. Cooper Kupp's got 75, and Stephon Diggs 72. Those guys are on another level. Justin Jefferson's got 69. Eckler and Kelsey aren't receivers. Michael Pittman, 61. Devontae Adams has 57 catches. Tyler Lockett, 54. CeeDee Lamb, 53. Christian Kirk, 52 catches. Jalen Waddle, 51. And then St. Brown and Mike Evans are at 49. That's pretty good company. All right. St. Brown has 49 catches for 518 yards. So he could be on pace. He's on pace for a 1,000-yard season, averaging 10.6 a catch, averaging 64 yards per game, which, there are three players that average over 100 yards a game in receptions. That's receiving yards: Justin Jefferson, Tyreek the Freak, and Stephon Diggs. But it doesn't think about, Tyreek Hill plays with Jalen Waddle. Stephon Diggs plays with Gabe Davis. All right. Who's Amon-Ra St. Brown playing with? It's pretty remarkable that he's surrounded by nothing. Chark's hurt. Cephas is hurt again. Josh Reynolds hasn't played in a couple weeks, and Jamison Williams has been out. We're talking about four players right there that you thought were going to help and bolster the receiving core. Jared Goff's numbers have been down as of late. But boy, Amon-Ra St. Brown is just so good. So good. And I hope that everybody does not take him for granted, because this guy is having another really, really good season. Got to tell you about our friends at PrizePicks, as Locked On Lions today is brought to you by PrizePicks. What'd you do last night? Were you watching the Monday night game? Were you bored? Could you believe the Commanders knocked off the Eagles? Were you betting or doing some daily fantasy and making player projection picks? You got to do that at prizepicks.com, all right? What I love about this format is it's you against the projections. You're not playing against anybody else. You're not worrying about anything else other than the projections that are there. So maybe this weekend you'll take Patrick Mahomes to throw for more than 320 yards. Maybe you think Saquon Barkley against the Lions is going to rush for more than, let's say, $110 or something, where the projections are. you can place that wager at PrizePicks.com. You pick 2 to 5 players, and if they score more or less in their PrizePicks projection, you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. Great thing about it is it's not just for the NFL. Piston games, Red Wing games, NBA, NHL, MLB, college football, college hoops, which is back tonight. Michigan State, who are they playing tonight? Kentucky. That's pretty cool. You can check it all out at prizepicks.com. Download the app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code LOCKEDON. Deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter promo code LOCKEDON at sign up for instant deposit match up to $100. And hey, what about our friends at SimpliSafe? Did you know that over the holidays, property crimes like burglaries and package thefts spike nationally? That's why our friends at SimpliSafe Home Security are offering 50% off their award-winning security system so that more families can feel safe and secure this holiday season. Order your SimpliSafe system for half off today and enjoy advanced security and greater peace of mind this holiday season. Here's why I love it. It's simple. They are there for you 24/7. 24/7 monitoring agents, 11 at night, 11 in the morning. You need to make that phone call, hit up the tech support staff. Someone is always there for you. In an emergency, 24/7 professional monitoring agents use something called Fast Protect technology exclusively from SimpliSafe to capture critical evidence and verify the threat is real so you can get priority police response. Don't miss your chance. Save big on the only security system I recommend. Get 50% off any new SimpliSafe system at simplisafe.com/LockedOnNFL. That's simplisafe.com/LockedOnNFL. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. All right, I mentioned before the Lions' highest graded player from Pro Football Focus, we love PFF, is Amon-Ra St. Brown, who comes in at an 83.2. He's been the best Lions player this year, whether you believe in PFF, analytics, or not. He's great. He's really good. He's borderline great. Lowest rated player so far, as we are 9 games into the season at 3-6, is Amani Oruwariye, who grades out at a 28.2. The Lions cornerback was a healthy scratch a few weeks ago and didn't even play. Then the last 2 weeks, he's been back in the lineup, but he's only played 1 snap on defense each game. And the Lions have won both games. They have been reinserting guys like A.J. Parker, who, of course, they let go last week. Jerry Jacobs has played more. Will Harris, Okudah, Bobby Price has played. So the Lions have added more. Mike Hughes. So the Lions have plenty of cornerbacks. And apparently Amani Oruwariye, now that Jacobs is healthy, is the odd man out. Amani has really struggled this year. And it's a contract year for him. Last year he played very well. And I even talked about, was July or August, when I did my Pro Bowl projections, and I said, who could be a first-time Pro Bowler? I put Oruwariye actually on the list because I thought he would take a giant step up this year because he improved last year. 6 interceptions, was a ball hawk. He's not the greatest speed. He has regressed immensely this season. And now the Lions, basically, and Aaron Glenn, have not put him on the field. Special teams, fine. But as far as defensive snaps, he hasn't played. And I don't blame them. They are more comfortable with Harris. They're more comfortable with Okudah. They're more comfortable with Hughes. They're more comfortable with Jerry Jacobs. And so Amani has been the odd man out. I'm not saying it's a fall from grace, and this was a great player by any stretch of the imagination, but wow, has he really kind of gone way down in terms of his development. And the Lions are trying to win, and they're putting the best players on the field that give them the best chance to win. I know it's a Belichickian phrase, but it's the truth. All right, NFL power rankings. This surprised me a little bit from ESPN. We didn't do this last week. So last week, the Lions came in 30th. And you're thinking, all right, they beat the Packers. It's Green Bay's down year. It was an ugly 15-9 win. But after Sunday and knocking off Hall of Fields and the Bears and winning on the road for the first time in 13 tries, and for the first time since 2020, you'd figure the Lions would make a jump up in the power rankings from number 30, at least get to 27, 26. I mean, a lot of teams are all sitting at 3 and 6. The bottom of the NFL from ESPN, Houston Texans ranked 32nd. Las Vegas Raiders, who are god-awful, 2 and 7, are 31st. Carolina Panthers, who are 3 and 7, come in at 30th. And then at number 29, the Lions. So they only move up one spot. Now, again, are the Lions better than the Broncos and their high-knees quarterback? I think Denver stinks. They're 28th. Pittsburgh, bad football team. Beat the Saints this week. They're 27th, also 3 and 6. Jacksonville, 3 and 7 at 26. The Bears, who the Lions just beat, are at 25, 3 and 7. The Saints, who stink. All right. Jameis Winston benched for Andy Dalton. They're 24th. Browns at 23, also a bad team. Got embarrassed this weekend off a bye by the Dolphins at 3 and 6. The Rams, all right, this is the former Super Bowl champs. You knew it was not going to be the greatest of years for them when you're hearing about Stafford's injuries. Now Cooper Kupp is hurt. They are 22nd. They also have 3 wins on the year. So those are the other 3-win teams with the Lions. But Detroit sits at 29th, and only Carolina is lower than them of the 3-win teams. I think that's a little unfair. I'm not sitting here telling you the Lions should be catapulted up to like the 20 spot, but behind teams like Denver, the Steelers, who I don't think is Jacksonville's bad. The Bears, the Lions just beat the Bears. Why are the Bears ranked ahead of the Lions? Because they got Hall of Fame fields. I mean, come on. So that's where Detroit is in the rankings. I think they should be a little bit higher. This weekend, though, and I think they got a good chance, only 3.5-point underdogs at 7-2, New York. Giants, by the way, in the power rankings this week come in at number 7 at 7-2. Behind Baltimore at 6, Buffalo at 5, Miami at 4, Minnesota at 3, Philadelphia at 2, Kansas City at number 1. Locked On Lions today brought to you by our friends at Built Bar. Can we pause the pod for a second? Okay, we're paused. Because you got to try this. I'm talking about Built Bar's new reimagined flavors. Cookie dough topper, coconut brownie bar, coconut brownie topper, plus white chocolate peppermint granola. Oh my God, I love peppermint this time of year. It's snowing outside. It's Built's take on the granola bar, so it's more filling and still insanely tasty. And I just ordered up a box of candy cane brownies, brownie Built bars. Amazing. Candy cane brownie puffs as well. Built puffs are like biting into the universe's most delicious cloud. First off, for anyone who hasn't tried Built bars yet, they're literally the best tasting protein bars ever built. They're revolutionizing nutrition as we know it with 100% real chocolate, 17 grams of protein, and shockingly low sugar and calories, only 130 calories. You got to try this. They're amazing. Get 15% off your order right now by using the code LOCKEDON15 at Built.com. All right, so I looked this up because it's been a while, and it's not that difficult research. My crack research staff is busy today. The Lions have won 2 in a row, all right? And we joke all the time about this team, and is this a real win streak? And I'll believe it's a streak when they win 3 straight. All right, well, playing the Giants is not going to be easy this week, but I do think New York is a beatable game. I think the Giants are due for a clunker. They've played very well under Brian Daboll. Nobody expected them to be 7-2, all right? Just beat the Texans this past weekend. They didn't play all that well. I think the Lions can win this game. Not ready to make a pick yet. But regardless, I'm thinking, all right, the Lions could win 3 in a row this week. But their last 2-game win streak, you got to go back to Matt Patricia coaching the team in 2020. October 18th, they won at Jacksonville with Matthew Stafford and Kenny Golladay having big games. And then the next week was the Todd Gurley game on October 25th, when the Lions came back to beat the Falcons on the road 23-22 in the game in which, If Gurley just slides or goes down at the 1 yard line, the game's over. Falcons take some knees, and that's it. Instead, he goes in for the touchdown. They kick the extra point. And then the Lions, maybe they missed the extra point. Maybe that's what it was. Koo maybe missed the extra point. And the Lions came down, and Stafford hit Hawkinson, and Detroit won. Again, they were out of timeouts. If Gurley just goes down, the Lions were like trying to let him score. Remember that? Like Will Harris was the only one not trying to tackle him. It was a bizarre play. It was a Todd Gurley game. But if he slides down, the Falcons win. They take a bunch of timeouts. Then they kick the chip shot field goal. It's over. Instead, they score the touchdown. And the Lions get down there and win 23-22. It was an incredible win, and it was back-to-back wins for Detroit. That was October 18th and October 25th of 2020. That's the last time the Lions have won 2 in a row. Think they've come a little bit of ways here. I know that I've been hard on the team. I know that this is year 2 of a rebuild. And at one point, we were staring down the barrel of 1-6 going, when's this going to get any better? But it seems like over the last couple of weeks, they've made enough plays. All right, the defense has done enough. It wasn't a great performance this past weekend. But if they can get some of these receivers back and healthy, they can run the football like they've been doing, get Swift on the field more than a handful of times a game. Like I said, I think they got a chance on Sunday. But first 2-game win streak in over 2 years. And even that was a gift from the Falcons that day. All right, that'll do it for a Tuesday edition of Locked On Lions. Mike Lombardi tomorrow. Patricia Traina on Thursday. Stay warm.